All right, welcome on in to the Super Bowl post-game show here. It was, as crazy of a show as you can get. What a game. Rams, Bengals, all of it out there in the whole world. I mean, congrats to the LA Rams. They're Super Bowl champions. They did it in a plethora of ways. It wasn't just one player. They did it the entire game. You know, there could have been it could have been a very different outcome. But the Rams defense in the second half, giving up that really explosive touch. They give just one field goal after that, and it was really a self-inflicted win by their offense in that situation. So, I mean, hats off to the Bengals. They they truly deserve to be in this football game. They truly deserve to compete and contend. But seriously, I mean, an absolutely great finish for the Rams, and you have to congratulate them. You have it's not just the great the we can't just say because the whole world was. I'm pretty sure when you look at this game, a lot of fans were on the Bengals in this game. They were on the Bengals to win this. They didn't want to see the Rams win it, but it's a feel good story either way, whichever team won this game. I'm not disappointed in the Rams winning. I think they deserve to win. I think that on paper, that the Rams should have won the Super Bowl. Certainly, after we saw all those injuries happen to the Cardinals, I think the Rams were clearly the front runner to win the Super Bowl this season. And I mean, we'll see if they can carry it on. But we're going to join in with our uh, our audience here. All right. So Super Bowl post game, LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals, an absolutely terrific football game. Came down to the very end. Let's start with the beginning. I mean, the Rams really looked like the better team very early on in this football game. It wasn't dominant either way, but early in this football game, I mean, looking back at it, the Rams they were able to establish dominance. They were able to find Odell Beckham Jr. early in this football game, get Odell Beckham on the scoreboard. And then after that, Odell Beckham, he got hurt in this game. It wasn't all rainbows and sunshine for the Rams. Odell Beckham gets hurt. So it's 7-3 after the first quarter. Then the Rams get the ball back, they find Cooper Kupp. So I mean, really at that point, most people would be would probably say that the Rams are really in a good position with the Rams up a score 13-3. Of course, that missed PAT, had this game gone just a little bit different, that missed PAT really could have been a factor in this game. And I think it was kind of going in that direction. It forced the Rams to get a touchdown on their last possession of the game. But we'll get to that last possession in a moment. But T. Higgins, the touchdown, I believe it was the halfback pass that got the Bengals their first touchdown of the football game, and it would have been the last score of the first half. But then to open up the second half, the Bengals with this explosive play, they find T. Higgins with a 75-yard touchdown right off the bat, just absolutely setting the tone. Really should have been offensive pass interference in that situation. That would have been the right call there. I would agree with a lot of Bengals fans in that situation that maybe they kind of got robbed of that one. And you win some, you lose some. but Jalen Ramsey, he was warranted in his complaints there. So really quickly after that one, Matthew Stafford throws another interception. He throws another interception that gives the Bengals good field position, but the Rams defense able to hold the Bengals to a field goal. So at that point, it's 20-13 Bengals lead. The Rams would answer with a field goal before the end of the third quarter. So it would be 20-16. Cooper Kupp, you know, it really just, most of the fourth quarter, it was a back and forth. These teams were punting the football. It wasn't not too much was going on. But then the Rams would get the ball. I think they got the ball with like 4 minutes left. They drive down the field. Cooper Kupp makes some clutch catches. They get inside the 10. First and goal, incomplete. I think that was an overthrow. Second and goal, incomplete again. Third and goal, they get a holding penalty against the Bengals. So it gives them a fresh set of downs. Now they're down to the 4-yard line. I mean, with the amount of times that the officials have held the whistle, they've swallowed it the entire playoffs, and in the biggest moment of the Super Bowl, you get a call, and it goes against the Bengals. And yes, that probably was holding. Very next play, Cooper Kupp, they find him in the end zone, touchdown, but no, it was an offensive holding. But there's also a defensive penalty for a personal foul, so they would replay that first down and goal. And then we got the next play. And then there would be a pass interference, I believe, the very next play. So move the Rams all the way to the 1. And then the Rams, now that they're at the 1, they QB sneak it, timeout by the Bengals. And then on the next play, the Stafford finds Kupp for the touchdown. And the Bengals would get the football back. They would have one more opportunity. But it would come down to there was a 2nd and 1 run for the Bengals. No, it was scratch that, 3rd and 1 run. I don't remember exactly if it was 2nd or 3rd, but he wasn't really able to fall forward, wasn't able to get that first down. It eventually created a 4th down and 1 where Joe Burrow gets pressured, nearly takes a sack, just kind of has to heave it. The game would end on that play, really. And the Rams are your Super Bowl champions after that. So, I mean, not one of the most entertaining ends to a Super Bowl. Certainly, the middle of the game was very fun, very explosive. But, I mean, either of these teams could have won this football game. It was another great comeback win for the Rams. And you could tell late in this game, Sean McVay knew that he had the chance. As long as his athletes on the field could make plays, that the Rams were going to have a good chance to win this football game. And they ended up winning the game. And, I mean, congratulations to the LA Rams. They got it done. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, they really have certainly, on paper, the Rams are the best talent in the NFL. They hosted the Super Bowl. They have one of the best young coaches in the NFL in Sean McVay. Everyone's been trying to replicate his talent and ability to coach. But I would highly advise everyone out there to not try and replicate someone. You have to win your own style. You're not going to be able to just copy this Sean McVay. You got to go out on a limb, find your own style. And, I mean, the Bengals, they really, the things that stopped the Bengals from winning this football game was their second half. Just inability to convert on third downs. And Joe Burrow just getting pummeled. He was taking so much pressure in this football game. As he did, I believe, in the AFC divisional round against the Titans. Joe Burrow was hitting the deck way too often to win this football game. you have to be able to get protection for your quarterback. And I know back in the draft time, about a year ago, just under a year ago, it's do you want offensive line help or do you want Jamar Chase? The Bengals took Jamar Chase. They sacrificed their offensive line. They get these explosive plays, but guess what? They're still lacking on the offensive line. They need to figure that out at some point. But I mean, there's some really good key cogs on this offense. They have really good skill players for the Bengals offense. You know, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, certainly Joe Burrow made some big plays, but it just wasn't enough. You just got to be able to put a drive together. It's a really good defense in the Rams, well rested, really great playmakers on the other side, certainly. But I mean, you can't be held to just one play. They really their offense in the second half for the Bengals was that one explosive play to T. Higgins. After that, they did nothing. This Bengals team, second half team, all postseason, they looked like they were going to make a good second half, but then it kind of just crumbled. And I mean, it really started with the pressure getting on Burrow. And I mean, the Bengals defense, they held up very well until that last drive. So you can't put everything on your offense. If you're the Bengals, you got to shame yourself into not going up by 2 scores in this football game. They never went up by 2 scores, and that's, I mean, I don't think they did, unless I am wrong on that one, but I think it was a 1-score game pretty much the entire time. And I would say the biggest thing is you just got to have faith in your team, and you got to have faith in your guys. And I know Joe Burrow on that last play, he tried to make something happen, but in reality, there was really just no shot. There was, I mean, you had to have a look very quickly. He didn't have it. He kind of just had to chuck it up. Now, had they converted that 4th down, it would have been a very interesting finish to this football game. It would have been really an all-time classic, potentially. I mean, how would this game have gone? I don't know. Would we have seen overtime in the Super Bowl yet again? We saw it Super Bowl 51, the Patriots and the Falcons. You know, you can say what if all you want, but we have another game decided by a field goal in the playoffs. So let's just soak this all in. We had how many different games decided by 1 score here in the playoffs? How many different games that were absolutely fascinating, that were historical, that were memorable, that were just absolutely fantastic, and you're not going to get this really ever again. I mean, you could hope so. You could hope that we get seasons like this every single year, but you're just not going to. Now, you have to give congratulations to the Bengals. You got to give congratulations to the Bills, the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Packers. I mean, this was a really wide open race, to be honest. I mean, these Rams were clearly one of the best teams heading into the season. Didn't perform like it in certain weeks. They had a good start, but really that middle point in the season, they were kind of crumbling. We saw them lose to the 49ers. It really was a wake-up call for them that they were not the best team at that point. At that point, the Rams were certainly not the best. They couldn't get past the 49ers. They couldn't get past them in Week 18. So then they have to go through this tough playoff route to get to the Super Bowl. They host the Cardinals. They win that one. Then they went to Tom's house out in Tampa. Absolutely light it up, but let the Buccaneers get back in the game. Were able to escape without that game-winning field goal. And then they actually beat the 49ers in the NFC Championship. 2 weeks later, able to win the Super Bowl here tonight. I mean, if you want to talk about a storybook season, this might have to be one of them. This was an absolutely. I mean, the whole goal when you're acquiring all this talent, spending a ton of cash, really your only goal is to be winning a Super Bowl. But they kind of did. They were they actually won the Super Bowl. Believe it or not, they defied the odds and came up big. And I really want to congratulate our entire crew here this season. Jordan winning the picks and able to. I mean, he won the playoff picks. I won the regular season picks. I just, couldn't catch a break. Had so many close games, and all right, I think that's about it for us tonight. But anyway, what's coming up here on JJ Sports? We've got coming up through the next couple of weeks and months. We've got the road to the Final Four, March Madness, and all that stuff coming up in about a month and about 6 weeks from now. We got the road to Qatar back on the airwaves. It'll be a Thursday, March 24th. The road to Qatar continues. 3 more matches for CONCACAF. And then we got that playoff over in Europe where potentially could see a Portugal-Italy playoff there. And that'll be interesting there if we get to see that. But certainly, we'll be back next fall with more NFL. So, really hope everyone enjoyed the Super Bowl once again in 2022. And this was a crazy season, 17-game season for the first time ever. And we hope to do it again. And it'd be a very interesting offseason, a very interesting draft. Really not the best quarterback draft that we've seen in recent memory, but we're still going to see some highly drafted quarterbacks in the draft. I mean, you could put up Billy Bob Joe as the best quarterback, and someone's still going to draft him because teams are just that desperate because you know what you can do with these young quarterbacks. Joe Burrow was drafted by this really just an organization in an awful state. They're able to get all the way to LA and for the Super Bowl in just 2 years after drafting Joe Burrow. I mean, young quarterbacks that are not being paid a ton can do a lot because they're surrounded by this great talent. I mean, the Bengals really, you don't have too many veteran players that are making a bulk of their roster. But just think about if the Bengals make a move or two, get some high quality talent around them, they will be fierce for years to come. But they don't have that right now. They don't have the luxury of a loaded roster like the Rams. The Rams, they should have won the Super Bowl. There's no doubt about it. But the amount of money they spent, the amount of draft capital they gave up just to get Stafford, I mean, it was Super Bowl or bust. If the Rams didn't win the Super Bowl, they'd really be suffering for years to come. But they're able to get it done. So if they suffer for a couple of years, it's not the worst thing in the world because at least they won one Super Bowl, and it's a Super Bowl that they hosted. I mean, the Rams really have not resonated with Los Angeles the same as maybe the Lakers, the Dodgers, or even at times the Kings when they were dominant in hockey. But I would say that this is going to be landscape changing. And I know the Rams have a bigger following in LA than the Chargers as the Chargers are down in San Diego really with their following. But I think this is big. And does it really hurt the Chargers' longevity? Does it hurt their fan base? If you're a Chargers fan before, you just became a Chargers fan for about a couple months. You're like, well, I want to be with that flashy Rams team over there. And I don't know if that, I know in like a New York market where you have the Jets and the Giants, that's kind of hard to break those bonds. But you had these Rams and Chargers. Neither of those two teams were in LA a couple of years ago, and now they're there. They have this absolutely wonderful stadium in SoFi Stadium, which hosted the game. And you just got to wonder when Big Brother in the Rams making all these great accomplishments, and you're the Chargers, and you didn't make the playoffs. You had the chance to. You had that one final game in Las Vegas. Couldn't get it done. Now, it will be fun to see a lot of stuff down the road. I mean, every draft's going to be fun from here on out. I mean, it'll be interesting. Everything is interesting in 2022. But, Super Bowl is hard to take in as a normal football game. You're not going to see really the loud chants from the crowd. It's kind of just so up there. But to all those Bengals fans out there who supported their team long and hard and wanted them to really provide some success, I'm sorry, couldn't happen. It just was not meant to be. It was a long shot for the Bengals at the beginning of the season. They just don't get it done. I mean, what can I say? I'm not really surprised. So the Rams actually, believe it or not, were favored by I think was it 4.5 going into this game? So they win the game, but they do not cover. So that is big because a lot of times when the winner wins the Super Bowl, they cover the spread. And this is probably really good news for the sports books in Las Vegas. I'm just going to be honest with you right there. So if you had the Rams minus the number, you lost. If you had the Bengals straight up, you lost. So if you had the Bengals plus the number, you're probably in really good shape right now. You're celebrating, and that was probably the play heading into this game, knowing how many games this postseason have been really close. It probably was the play to take the Bengals plus the points, but obviously it's really lucrative to take the Bengals outright. But I don't know. We we're never gonna know how it would have happened if the Bengals were able to convert that fourth down there at the end of the game. So all right, I think we're gonna have to wrap it up here, unless someone miraculously wanted to hop on and talk some NFL post game here, but I don't think we're gonna get anybody to hop on here to the program. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, whether it's YouTube or the podcast. It's been a real journey this season. It's been a real grind to bring you the best of the NFL. And again, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And it's really that dry period in February. Next week you got the Daytona 500 on Fox. And really that's about it. You got college basketball, of course, but that's so spread it thin across the country. You've got, I don't know, how many different college basketball teams in this country that you could be watching. So it's again Super Bowl. Hope you enjoyed your Super Bowl. I probably ate way too many Scotcheroos today. If you don't know what a Scotcheroo is, you're probably not from the Midwest. You take some Rice Krispies, you buy those at your local store. You take some peanut butter, you kind of blend her up a little bit. You add some corn syrup in there as well. You blend it up in kind of a pan, and then you put it into a platter or into a like a what do you call it, casserole dish, and then you melt some chocolate chips, butterscotch chips. You melt it in the microwave, and then you pour it on top. You let it dry, and then you serve that into like squares and stuff. So it's kind of similar to like marshmallow Rice Krispie treat kind of things, but those things. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure someone could gain. At least there's peanut butter in there. Like that's the one thing going for it. But those things are literally addictive. I'm just gonna be honest. Those things are not that hard to make, but they taste dang good. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. They really did taste pretty good, and I probably ate too many. So, yeah. Anyway, Rams win the Super Bowl by a score of 23-20 over the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the under in this game hit 43 points, the total in this football game. So, really, congrats if you had a good day betting. If you didn't, well, sucks for you, I guess. Good luck next year. Anyway, for everybody here, hope you enjoyed Super Bowl 56. Super Bowl 57 next year will be live on Fox. It'll be, I believe, in Arizona. So Fox will have another warm weather Super Bowl next year. And, if you want to host a Super Bowl, you kind of got to build a domed stadium. Or you got to be in Florida, California. You got to be somewhere warm. And you got to have a domed stadium. Really, the only way you're going to get a Super Bowl coming your way. So the only upcoming new Super Bowl venue that hasn't had one, I think, is Las Vegas. Eventually, they're going to be getting a Super Bowl. But again, it's going to go back to New Orleans in a couple years. So, and eventually ABC is going to be in the Super Bowl rotation. Anyway, thanks for watching, listening, consuming the content.